Good afternoon, Lagos. Good afternoon, Nigeria. Good afternoon to you wherever you're listening to or watching us from around the world. Welcome to the new Nigeria debate right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. My name is Chioma Innocent.
And I am Solomon of FEM. Again, welcome to the New Nigeria Debate, the program where we give you all the latest talking point, all the gist, all the gossip, all the juicy details as far as politics is concerned in Nigeria. Between now and 2027 general election, this is what we're going to be talking about today on Voice of the People 90.3 FM.
No, we gossip, we don't gossip. We give you the information that you need to make the right decision.
Well, sometimes rumors are part of the game, so not confirmed report, but we will tell you straight off that it is not a confirmed report, but this is what we're hearing.
Of course, and when the reports are confirmed, we'll definitely come and let you know. Today we'll be joined by Nigeria's former Federal Minister of Communication and a member of the APC, a legal luminary, who will be giving us his own perspectives on some of the political issues that has dogged our country, at least that we've been talking about for the past few days now. So welcome again to the new Nigeria debate. It promises to be an insightful conversation, so tell a friend to tell a friend, tell your landlord, tell your enemies that the new Nigeria debate has just begun. Very shortly we'll be joined by Barrister Abdulrahim Adebayo Shitu, a lawyer, a politician and a former Minister of Communications. But in the meantime, let's introduce you to some of the issues we'll be looking at this afternoon. On the world news at 12, if you join myself and Mr. Sobi Uranta, you must have heard us talking about the president directing the FCT minister to build houses for the judges, and the AGF actually represented the president during the unveiling of those houses. They claim that this is to foster the independence of the judiciary, and you wonder how can you wonder how can the judiciary be independent when it seems that there is an influence from the executive. We'll start with that. Good afternoon to you, Barrister Adebayo Shitu. Good to have you here, sir.
Good afternoon, my sister. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. We are happy to have you with us today, and we appreciate your time and your presence. Let's delve right into the issues. I want to start with the presidential directive that was taken up by the FCT minister to build houses for judges. In fact, the head of Nigeria's judiciary, one could say, the Attorney General of Federation and Minister of Justice, was the one who represented the president at the unveiling, and he said that the president and his administration is trying to foster the independence of the judiciary to make sure they stand alone. As the students that did government as a subject in secondary school. Can you hear me, sir? Hello, sir.
Hello, go ahead.
Yes, sir. I'm talking about, can we really talk about the independence of the judiciary when the executive is building houses for them? As a custodian of the law, as a legal luminary yourself, I want to get your thoughts on that, and also a member of the ruling party.
I think what the president has done is very commendable, because, to leave judges homeless is to expose them to corruption. If you allow judges to, it's like in situations where you have a judge going into the same taxi cab with criminals under him, being prosecuted by him. So every good thing that has been done to make judges completely independent of temptations should be done. And if government does not do it, who does it? Where would judges, people who have accepted to become judges, where would they have money to rent appropriate residential apartments? So for me, I want to commend the president for doing wonderfully well in that regard. Once, the judges, the houses being built for them, they are not donations. Ideally, an employer of labor should also provide housing for his employee. Judges are employers of government, and it is the duty of government to provide houses for them, to immune them from all kinds of temptations. So I think it is commendation all the way.
All right. You say leaving judges homeless is bad, but were these judges really homeless before these houses were built? If they were homeless before these houses were built, doesn't that speak to the failure of previous and current government in Nigeria? Also, when you say, these judges so that they will be able to resist temptation and that they are the employees of the government, are they the employees of the government or of the people? If they are the employees of the government,
who appoints them? Who appoints them? Government does that on behalf of the people.
Okay.
Government does that on behalf of the
Doesn't
people.
that mean the people should have a say in the appointment of these judges?
The government has a say by their representatives in parliament. The people's representative are those people who represent the masses in parliament. And parliament is a part of the government.
So, he who pays the piper detects the tune.
It does not follow in the case of judges.
No, but in politics, it follows.
Judges are not supposed to be politicians.
Well, but we're talking about politicians working with judges. So even if the judges, even if the judges is incorruptible, what about the politicians doing the alleged inducement, as it were?
Well, I mean, they will continue the accusations, and the integrity of every judge depends on him. Whatever he wants to be remembered for is what will happen. And when that happens, nemesis will catch up on any such judge. In any case, our judicial system is such that we have different levels. We have the high courts, we have the Court of Appeal. If one is dissatisfied with the judgment of the High Court, you appeal to the Court of Appeal. If you are dissatisfied with that, you appeal to the Supreme Court. So these layers are enough to ensure that if one judge is corrupt at the lower level, you have opportunity of going to prove that at appeal levels.
Now, these judges recommended it's a combination of the NJC, the executive, and the legislature. I think there was a better way to do that other than telling the FCT minister to build a house for them. We're talking about the independence. We're talking about the independence of the judiciary here. The monies can as well be given to them via the National Assembly to the coffers of the judges for them to do what they want. Obviously with the supervision of the executive and the legislature to make sure that this money gets into the hands of the judges rightly, and to make sure the National Judicial Council make judicious use of the money.
To give them cash.
And it is not dangerous for the executive to tell the judiciary how to.
Let me tell you, once the buildings are built, they are not given to individual judges directly by the Minister of FCT.
Okay.
They are delivered to the judiciary as an institution. It is the judiciary that will, give each judge what is, he requires out of the buildings built by government.
So what you're saying is you can trust executives with money, but you can't trust your judiciary with money. Is that what you're saying?
No, why would it? I mean, they are giving their allocations, of course, the judiciary. But what I'm saying is that it's not as if each judge is asked to line up and they are given by the executive directly.
Of course.
All the buildings built for judges are delivered to the head of the judiciary, who makes allocations to the individual judges. So the minister of FCT would, for instance, not know which building or which house is given to Judge A or Judge B or Judge C. I don't know whether you get what I'm saying.
All right, okay. We understand you, sir. But the opposition refutes this, and critics say this is a way to try to induce the judiciary.
What should government do to assist judges get better accommodated.
If we have systems in place that already create budgetary provisions for the judiciary, they would not have to depend on the largesse
No, but
from
it
the
has to
executive.
start from something. People in the executive must think, must continue to think and evolve ways of assisting the system.
All right.
How did you say because such a system had never been in existence, so you allow such a unequal situation to continue? It's not right.
All
I mean,
right.
it must start from somewhere.
All right. We have quite a bit to discuss, so let's move on from this particular topic and talk about the opposition. One member of the opposition has been enmeshed in legal battles and trials for a while now. Now, he's been unable to even be involved in politicking with his party members, and they've gone ahead to hold their primaries and hold whatever event and political event that they need to hold without him. I'm talking about former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai, and the reason why I'm talking about him is because the Arewa Youth Forum has warned that if El-Rufai's detention continues, if his legal battles over corruption and fraud and whatnot continues with the ICPC and other agencies, that 2027 may be Nigeria's last election. So the coalition of Arewa Youth Group, they raised concerns over Nigeria's political future. They say the 2027 elections could be Nigeria's last if what they called political intimidation and selective justice continue. They literally held a press briefing to demand the immediate release of El-Rufai, and they have even lobbied a firm, I believe it's a foreign firm, a US firm, to counteract whatever it is that the ICPC is doing. Is he being persecuted for leaving the APC and not working with this administration, even though he was more or less rejected?
I must tell you that El-Rufai's case is a particularly saddening situation whenever I think of it. I see myself as more of a Nigerian, very objective Nigerian, rather than being a member of a party A or party B. I feel sad about El-Rufai because I knew the pivotal role he played during Tinubu's acceptance by northern governors and his the support he gave and the eventual victory of President Tinubu. So that notwithstanding, I also feel bad that if actually there were no allegations, he would not have been in the type of trouble that he seems to be in now. I mean, if one does not have any, if there is no evidence whatsoever about corruption during one's term, there's nothing that government can do to rope him in. I feel very proud of myself. I've been a minister, and I can tell you anytime they say, EFCC is looking for me, I will say they should get out. I will bloody fool them because I don't have any scintilla of, absurdity in my term in regard to corruption. So I am saying that if there were no evidences, unfortunate evidences, there's nothing that government, no matter how much they hate him, there's nothing that they can do. I can say with all due respect that El-Rufai is not more feared by the government of the day than the fear Atiku. But because there's no evidence against Atiku in any way, I mean, he's free and he continues to confront the government in regard to the forthcoming election. So in regard to the threat by Arewa youth, I think they should know that Nigeria is for all of us, and we must not do anything of which all of us will become victims. If democracy is disrupted, if elections are disrupted, who loses and who gains? Some people they don't like are already in government. If there's no new election, the people in government will remain in government because there must not be a lacuna in governance. So I would appeal that they should get the most productive lawyers around to defend El-Rufai Nobody can manufacture evidence against you if there's nothing incriminating against you. So it's unfortunate that he's in trouble. I think, in fact, I can say that the current government, which benefited from him, has not been sufficiently fair to him, particularly in regard to the fact that because of the contributions he made, government had promised to make him a minister. In fact, he was begged to accept to become a minister.
And when he was screened and let go.
And he was screened, unfortunately, when he was not, when this, the Senate refused to approve his appointment, no explanation was given. And it is suspicious that there must be people in government who really influenced, the Senate to take the action they took. It's unfortunate that has happened, but this is what we have.
But critics are arguing that he's only been persecuted because he is threatened to reveal where all the bodies are buried, which also coincides with accusations.
Which bodies were buried somewhere?
Which also coincides with allegations that this government, the APC government, the President Bola Tinubu government, is selectively prosecuting corruption, because there are numerous politicians serving under the APC that have been one way or the other accused of corruption, either by EFCC or ICPC, but they're being shielded by the APC because they are members of the APC.
That's a regrettable irony that I want to use this opportunity to appeal to Mr. President that I expect him to take a more proactive measure and a more active measure in fighting corruption at all levels. We cannot succeed by turning a blind eye to corruption that is devastating Nigeria as a country. I think government should do something about it.
All right. Do you see these detention and prosecution of El-Rufai as a catalyst or something that would actually divert northern votes from the APC and prevent the northern region or his supporters that are able to convince the people there that, because of what El-Rufai is going through, despite all he did for the president, despite all he did in 2023 to ensure he was speaking for the president in Chatham House. They literally asked President Tinubu a question and he directed it to El-Rufai, and El-Rufai answered. And now they seem to be at loggerheads. Do you see this affecting northern votes for the president, or the APC has all bases covered?
All actions have consequences. There's no doubt about that. All actions shall have consequences, whether positive consequence or negative consequence. There's no action that would not have consequences. I think our party has not managed the El-Rufai issue very well. In regard to his prosecution, I don't think he's just being prosecuted, because if you take somebody to court, you must provide the evidence of his wrongdoings. So if government does not have any evidence, they would not risk, his prosecution. So he must have also faltered while being in position of governor. Otherwise, if I am being prosecuted by anybody and I know my hands are clean, I'll bloody fool them. And I'll get, lawyers to present, to defend me properly and negative whatever spurious evidence they have. But if the evidences against you are not spurious, then you'll be in trouble.
Now, lots of Nigerians, political analysts and security analysts and economists continue to say that the APC and Tinubu government failed Nigerians woefully as far as these two major parts of existence of a country is involved, talking about security and economy. On the security, obviously we know the insecurity in Nigeria did not start in the APC government, but the reason why APC is in power largely was because Nigerians thought the other party, the PDP that ruled Nigeria for 16 years, had failed to manage Nigeria's security situation. But since the APC came into power, right from the Muhammadu Buhari administration now to Tinubu administration, the security situation in Nigeria has increased exponentially. What would you say is stopping the APC government from solving that elusive problem?
Really, this is a very small point you are, bringing up. I come from Oyo State, and I know that the recent kidnapping of school children and teachers is over 1 month now. I am surprised and disappointed that government didn't take the first action. Look, I know that we have well-trained soldiers in this country. If the president has sent only 100 soldiers immediately to Orire to trace the kidnapper, they would have long been arrested. I don't know why the indecision. I don't know why it took so long. It was well after 2 weeks that Mr. President sent a delegation to go and appease the people, pay soldata visit, which does not have any relevance to the freedom of those still being incarcerated. So I think that is one, wrong step of not taking the correct decision at the right time. It is true that soldiers, governors are said to be, securities, whatever.
Security chiefs of their states.
Security chiefs of their state. But the overriding security chief of this country is Mr. President. He's the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Nigeria. He is the one who holds the key to orders for the armed forces. At the last count, I know that we have more than 350,000 soldiers in this country. Just 100 soldiers at the right time would have done the job. That is one, about security. Number two, when you talk of the economy, it is true that the government
before we go for the economy, let's stick with the insecurity for now. Before we go to now, security analysts and even political analysts have said it's more of a political will from the government than anything else, because we keep hearing several stories from let's say Sheikh Gumi, for example, that have continuously said the government is aware of its negotiation power, because Nigerians came out and say, why is someone like Sheikh Gumi still walking free in Nigeria, negotiating with bandits, and the government have not been able to leverage on his knowledge with the bandits to help eradicate this insecurity. And whenever we get stories of kidnappers being released, we get to hear that these people contacted these bandits, which means somehow there is a huge percentage that the government have contact with these bandits. So would you say, just like so many other people are saying, that it's more of a political will than anything else, that if this government really want to eradicate insecurity in this country, it wouldn't take a month to do that?
Well, I would say it shouldn't take a month. It shouldn't take a month. You see, my position has been that desperate diseases are by desperate means cured. If I was Mr. President, certainly I will handle the matter differently. When people have engaged in massacres, have engaged in killings, in denying other people their civil common rights, do they deserve to live? They don't even deserve to live. And I have always said this: if we had 1 million kidnappers in Nigeria, if you eliminate only one of them, they are no more 1 million. They are less than 1 million. If you know where they are and which is your duty because they live within the geographical expression called Nigeria, you should be able to look for them. Why do you have the armed forces? Why do you have the police? Why do you have the DSS? Why do you invest so much in arms and ammunitions? So there's no excuse. To my mind, there's no excuse. It's your duty, and that's why you work to become the commander-in-chief, and you are the commander-in-chief. Nigerians have submitted their rights to you, have given you the sovereignty of this country to manage on their behalf. So there shouldn't be any excuse.
Let's look at the body language of the president and our security chiefs towards insecurity. While we are lamenting what is happening, we're hearing people from the presidency coming to give us optimistic statistics, right, that we cannot really verify. And they'll say, oh, it's been solved. There are lesser killings now. In the president's Democracy Day speech, he said killings have reduced by 81%. Meanwhile, as at then, the people in Oyo State, the people, the teachers and students who were kidnapped in Oyo State had been there for over 29 days. As at that time, Democracy Day was like 6 days ago.
Actually, also slaughtered. One of them, a human being.
So you're a member of this party. I don't know if you're speaking for.
No, I'm speaking as a Nigerian. I'm speaking as a Nigerian.
I mean, he said that he's speaking as a Nigerian, which is why yes,
started defending the government,
which is why quite commendable.
Of my party, I would never do that.
All right, great, sir. You're a former minister of communication. The current minister of communication, is it doing enough? I mean, some of our ministers, people who are who are appointees of this government, many of them we don't even know their names. The reason why we know the name of the FCT minister is because he's more or less controversial. The reason why we know the name,
not only controversial, but the first, I mean, the most actively performing, minister. In fairness to him,
all right,
he has the only other person, apart from him, is the Minister of Works. In terms of performance.
No, because of the Lagos Calabar Coastal Road, a lot of people know his name.
Sokoto,
former Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu. The reason why a lot of people know his name was also because of the
epileptic power supply
and the national grid that was always going to the hospital. But the Minister of Communications, most of the time we hear from the presidency, we hear from Bayo Ononuga, we hear from Daniel Bwala.
Yes.
And sometimes these people, in pidgin parlance, you will say Missian. A lot of Nigerians look at them and say they're Missian. But the Minister of Communications, is he communicating to Nigerians the way he should? I mean, look at Lai Mohammed during Buhari.
I really don't know. There is one minister who even his staff hardly see. Even his own staff. And I had a very nasty experience with him. I've never met him in life. When he was appointed minister, I sought to meet with him to tell him some of the things I had started but had not accomplished, with a view to persuading him to work hard on them. For instance, we have a night post. I wanted to break night post down into 7 new companies for the benefit of Nigerians. And I had a booklet that I wanted to present him, which I had prepared. The man refused to see me. If you refuse to see your predecessor, it means you don't want to benefit from any past experience of anybody. Until today, he has not cared to look for him, despite the fact that I got people to talk to him that I wanted to come and see him. So if you have such a minister, I don't know what he will be ministering onto. I don't know.
All right.
So it's a pity. That's our lot in this country.
Unfortunately. Let's rate the current administration on all other fronts. We've talked about security or insecurity, as the case may be. So we're looking at the economy and also the kind of politics that the APC is playing, because we really, really need to look at that. This is a political program, so let's stick to the political aspect.
Let's take the issues one after the other so that I don't forget any one of them.
Of course. The Nigerian economy. The president keeps telling us, fuel subsidy has been removed, the naira has been floated, the economy is better for all Nigerians, and there is
more money coming into the coffers of the government.
He is the president. We are the ordinary Nigerians, Mr. Solomon and I, because I don't really consider you to be a very ordinary Nigerian like the rest of us. Because you worked with the government before. No, you're an extraordinary Nigerian.
You're definitely not ordinary
as any of you.
Okay.
So the question is, if we are to give the president a scorecard on the Nigerian economy, what would it be? I mean, you've been quite objective so far.
It is very difficult to assess you, in the sense that I know they keep giving us all kinds of figures and all of that. But the bottom line is the man on the street. Who is the man on the street? The man who is a civil servant, the man who is a laborer, the man who is a taxi driver, the man who is a market man or woman, and so many others. The reality is that they are hungry. Unfortunately, I mean, this talking truth. I'm not here to be psychopathic to anybody. I will never be.
Which is admirable.
But the reality is that people are hungry. Jobs are not, even as a former minister, if you did not steal while being a minister, there's no how you can survive the economic, strangulation that is the lot of most Nigerians. So for me, I know that lifting the issue of post-oil subsidy removal, it has paid only state governments. Their income, their IGR, I mean, the money is coming to them monthly.
It has skyrocketed, actually.
It has skyrocketed, but all of these monies are going into private pockets. Unfortunately, that's the truth. Because we are not seeing anything. These monies, even apart from the monies that come to them directly, the monies for local government also come through them. But these monies do not reach the target of local governments. Unfortunately, most state houses of assembly are, completely useless, with due respect. They are not doing anything. They are more interested in their own courts. And the governors are the one who decides who get ticket to get elected to the House of Assembly. So when they get there, they can't do anything. They can't speak. I remember in my own time in the 1979, I started asking questions because even though I was a member of the Unity Party of Nigeria, but from the 8th day of our resumption as members of House of Assembly, I started asking questions, even though I was a member of the ADC. That is how it should be. Not to go and satisfy the financial ego of any governor. Now, unfortunately, I don't know how we are going to get out of this situation in this country.
Now, there seemed to be a consensus agreement by economists and oil educators that the president did the right thing, removing subsidy. But the way he removed the subsidy has been a topic for discussion, where it seems like it wasn't planned. He just went to the podium on his inauguration day and just spilled it out, and the resultant effect is what ordinary Nigerians are suffering now. Do you think he could have done better? He could have planned the subsidy removal better?
Well, I don't know. What I do know is today the ordinary Nigeria is suffering more than we had been suffering under the Buhari administration, which preceded it. I mean, that's a reality which we cannot run away from. I mean, we are 3 years into the Bola Tinubu government. 3 years.
Yes, we are.
Unfortunately, I mean, things are getting worse. The economic situation, even as a poor man as I am, the messages I receive, SMS messages from distraught Nigerians looking for 5,000, 10,000 is uncountable. And I don't know. There's no way I can meet these demands. Because I made sure I didn't steal any money, I will never steal government money. So it's a pity that most Nigerians are now suffering. I have private schools, 2 private schools. Parents find it difficult to pay school fees now. They find it very difficult. And when you push it too much, they withdraw their children from the schools. So these are realities of our time. We have to pray to God to bring succor to us as a nation.
Now, let's talk about the political side of it. The APC government, the Tinubu government has been derided for the kind of politics, being played in this country. Obviously, it's not an APC problem; it's a foundation problem. But the APC and President Bola Tinubu, some will allege that they've stretched the corrupt and lopsided politics even to its max. How do you think that problem should be solved?
Well, I honestly, most of our problems lie with our various legislatures at the state level and national, etc. Because if you have governors, you have the president. If you have a very vigilant and intellectually profound legislators, they are supposed to be serving as checks on whatever excesses or inadequacies of people in the executive.
Well, we're talking about a group of politicians here that came into the office.
They are politicians in the assemblies, in the legislatures, and all of that. I mean, they should be calling the governors to order, then calling Mr. President to order.
Now, I'm asking these questions because of the several allegations that have been leveled by the APC government in a bid to turn Nigeria into a one-party state. I don't know how possible that will be, but we've had several issues with the opposition parties, the PDP, the APC, and all allegations have been leveled to the APC and Tinubu government under the guise of master strategists. And obviously, you can see that with Nyesom Wike, the FCT minister, who is one leg in the PDP and one leg in the APC.
Well, it has a very negative aspect of politics of today in Nigeria. Ideally, the executives should be, people in the opposition should be sufficiently strong that they are an alternative to the government in power. But there are so many weaknesses in our system, in the sense that we hardly have quality people in the executive. Otherwise, if you know the fact that by 2023, when Tinubu came into government, there was almost a balance in the power of the executive. The quantum of people in the executive was even more than it was in the government power. But today things have changed radically, and the fault is that of the average Nigerian who just does not want to make any sacrifice for any principle. The only principle we have is our stomach. So everybody is looking for a way out to be able to partake in the chill, as it were. So of course, people in executive will want to capitalize and dominate. People in government. It's a natural human trait that you want everybody to be part of you and so on and so forth. But I always say this, that nobody is forced to defect into the governing party. Of course, efforts will be made, attractions will be made, people will be, encouraged to come over and so on. But people who are principled, who know the important purpose of their being in the executive, to try to take over at the next opportune time, and so to be steadfast and so on and so forth. So the Nigerian problem, greed and opportunism are Nigerian problems, which more importantly with Nigerian politicians.
Let's look at the way the current administration relate with the opposition. Recently, there was a court judgment to deregister 5 political parties, most prominent amongst them the African Democratic Congress, that has Atiku Abubakar as its presidential candidate, and also the Accord Party that has Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke. He's trying to be re-elected on the platform of that party very, very soon in the elections this year, about next month or 2 months away. Here is the question. When it comes to opposition, we understand that the ruling administration is not supposed to make it easy for them. And some people have also blamed the current crop of opposition that they are not doing this opposition the way the APC did it. That they are not moving as if they really want to push out the APC in 2027. When we remember what the APC did, how they occupied Nigeria, occupied the streets, and, rallied against the removal of fuel subsidy and most of the policies that then President Goodluck Jonathan was bringing to the country. We do not see the current opposition doing that. They hide behind their keepers. They give out statements. In fact, the only time we saw Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, and some others, Amechi and others on the street was during the amendment of the electoral laws. It was a day or a few hours of protesting, and then they left Nigerians, right there on the street. Is the current opposition being too soft on the government, or is the government or the ruling party being too hard on the opposition?
So brutal to clamp down on opposition party.
Well, I don't see the clamping. Let me comment particularly on the issue of the alleged or the purported, defection. I mean, the registration of opposing political party. I felt very sad, really. I belong to APC, but I'm not happy that the opposition is being so hounded. For instance, if you look at the local standard of those who went to court, why should people in the governing party want to kill or register opposition parties? Is it that you don't want opposition in a democracy? I mean, that's obviously untoward. I felt very, very bad about it. But I'm happy that at least, the Court of Appeal has, suspended the judgment. I hope that we will have enough strong opposition. It is really not a joke being in opposition, particularly in this type of government where the party in government has almost swallowed the opposition by way of the number of people who have defected from their opposition parties to the governing party. I mean, ideally, if we are in opposition, you should even be proud of it and work towards, upstaging the government in power, the party in power during the next election. But in Nigeria, it's looked like we are very greedy and very opportunistic. Everybody wants soft landing. Nobody wants to really do the work to bring honor to your party to transform into a government party. It's unfortunate.
Now, let's talk about opportunities for young politicians. From your biography, you ventured into politics at the age of 26. And a lot of the politicians, top politicians right now, got into politics at a very young age. But it looks like a lot of these top politicians got to the top and then pushed down the ladder. There is no space for young politicians, to grow and to actualize that statement of, next generation of politicians, except the ones, that are the children of these top politicians. Why do you think that is?
Well, it's a pity. Again, people who have had the opportunity of being in government will want to consolidate their hold on their positions. This is one of the factors. The other one is we hate criticism, we hate opposition as a people. Like, for instance, I felt amazed when our party released the fees, the amount of fees to be taken for purchasing for intention form and nomination form. If you want to go to the House of Assembly, for instance, in our party, you were requested or you were required to purchase forms for about 5 to 6 million naira. For a young man who is just outside out of university now, perhaps still looking for a job, he has not gotten a job, you expect him to pay that amount of money for form when there's no assurance that he could even win. And it's not as if he loses, you will return or refund the money. I mean, that was most unfair. For instance, in my party, to file, for governorship, you were required to pay about 50 million.
Yes.
Even as somebody who has been a minister before, if I had not stolen money while in government, where would I get 50 million? To go to the Senate, you were supposed to pay about 20 million. To go to House of Reps, you are supposed to pay about 8 million naira. I mean, these are most unfair and most restrictive policies of our parties. All of these parties had, humongous sums you were supposed to pay. In fact, in our own party, in APC, unfortunately, I'm sorry I have to say this, in Oyo State, about 16 people wanted to be governor. Eventually, about 12 people paid 50 million naira each. After paying that, then they say that you have to, then they impose, some people met with him who had strong ties to the presidency, and they imposed a candidate for governorship on us. All the other 11 people who had paid 50 million had to lose those monies which were paid. I mean, that's most immoral and most unfair. So these are some of the things that discourage or prevent the young. At the time I entered politics, is that for whether we even paid any money to collect form? Is that for whether there was any monies for, nomination form, expression of interest, and all of this? And where does the money go? I mean, you can imagine from nomination forms alone, many parties got more than 5 billion naira free money extorted from people who were desirous of, holding, competing, or contesting for one position or the other. These are very ungodly situations that we find in Nigeria. But my problem really is not the fact that we have all of these problems, but the fact that we don't have anybody who wants to save Nigeria from itself. That's the most unfortunate thing. Nobody is thinking of all of these, misgivings, all of these, horrible situations that we impose on ourselves.
You're talking about the ruling party at this point. Some of these situations also occurred within the opposition parties who are positioning themselves as an alternative to the ruling party. They keep highlighting the negative aspects of the policies of the current administration. They keep talking about how they will do better. But when they had an opportunity amongst themselves to choose the persons they believe will be better representatives of the people through direct and primaries and also what they call it now? Consensus. In some places, there were so many accusations back and forth. There was so much malfeasance. The current crop of opposition we have, I understand you're not one of them, but I am basing this question on your objectivity so far. Do they look like they are serious about winning 2027 elections?
You recall that recently, the Emir of Kano, Emir Sanusi, said Nigeria is a classless society. He said there are 109 senators we have. If you remove all the 109 and from the streets you pick 109 persons to come and occupy those positions, they most likely will behave the same way like their predecessors behaved. So it's a Nigerian problem. I don't know how God created us the way we are created. The problems we have in Nigeria, they don't have it in Benin Republic, they don't have in Niger Republic, they don't have in Cameroon, not talk of Ghana. Unfortunately, we are so peculiar people, peculiar mess, perhaps you would say.
So not a positive peculiarity.
Well, it's unfortunate. Nobody appears to be interested in solving these problems.
So now, looking at all these chances, all these problems and issues bedeviling Nigeria right now under the APC administration, and talking about some of the internal squabbles rather in the party, you mentioned a little of that. It wasn't just in your state. We had, as journalists, we heard stories all over the state. Even some APC members protested against the national leadership of the party with the way they've conducted these different primaries for different positions in their state. Now add to these different lots of defections from these other parties to APC that also added more problems to the issue. We have the old members of APC and the new members, a lot of good numbers of these defectees to the APC, all jostling for limited position that have caused some chaos in the primaries. Do you think the APC will still have a good run in the 2027 election?
Well, of
course, add the anger of Nigerians about the security and the economic situation.
There are frustrations. People are really frustrated. I must admit, there's a lot of frustration in the land and within our party. There are a lot of frustrations. Look, in several places they say that consensus. What does consensus mean? Consensus means all stakeholders agree to one candidate. But you just see that this term consensus is just being bandied to clothe the devil with the righteous gaps. They won't call anybody to agree, no consultation with anybody. Some big man will just bring a name and say he's a consensus candidate.
So it's more of imposition.
I say more is more of imposition rather than agreement of stakeholders. So definitely, like I have always said, there will always be consequences for all actions. The consequences may be positive, it may be negative, but certainly nothing will go for nothing.
How well do you think APC will fare in the election? Also consider that obviously the state apparatus is still under the grasp of the APC
I only wish the party good luck, but in wishing the party good luck, I also demand that our leaders should sit back and think over their own respective performances and what is in the best interest of Nigeria, because that's what is important.
All right, we're coasting home, sir, but just before we let you go, quite a number of Nigerians are feeling apathetic towards the 2027 election. Some of them consider that both the opposition, both the ruling party, all of them, they are the same. And the House of Reps Minority Caucus yesterday was saying, due to insecurity in the land, the president should suspend all electoral activities for the next 6 months, focus solely on security, solve the problem of insecurity, and then we can go back to preparing for the next election cycle. Is this something you agree with?
It does make sense. It makes sense. It makes sense. Because we waste too much time on re-elections. This government has to wait until after the next round of elections. That's the attitude of most of our leaders. They want proper governance to wait, for politics. But the lives of people must continue to be sustained, and life must continue to go on in an orderly manner. So if it were possible, let us consider our situation as an emergency situation in the area of security and economic revitalization for the Nigerian people. In fact, if government can do that, it will even improve the chances of government to get re-elected.
But at the end of the day, we've still established that it's more of political will than anything. But so even if everything is suspended, if there is no political will for the people at the top to end this insecurity,
that's why I say people should think properly and assess the situation we are in this country and see where we must make improvement, particularly in the area of insecurity and in the area of economic revitalization.
All right, just before you go, sir, why do politicians like sharing? They like sharing things to Nigerians like Nigerians are beggars. When I say politicians, most recently read APC. I said they shared 2 sachets of tomato paste, 3 packets of noodles. They will share semovita. During the local government elections in Lagos, so they were sharing crab. They were sharing semo and eforiro, crab that people have not eaten since they were eating. They will share one dirika of gari, one dirika of rice. Why?
You've not talked about the branded underwear.
Let me tell you my experience. I will go to communities seeking to get them to support me. When you go to those communities, instead of them to say, what would you do for us if you get elected? That would have been a more reasonable, sensible question. What they'll be asking is, what did you bring for us? So once you can share peanuts with them, you consume with their support.
Can you actually blame them when some of them believe when you enter, you won't do anything for them?
Yeah, it is because we don't take them to task. Let me tell you one thing. In Oyo State, we had certainly more than 12 aspirants who were interested in governorship. Up to date, for the past 1 year up to date, I'm the only one who had a manifesto of specific things that I would do for the state. I was the only one. A 17-page manifesto, 17-page or 18. Specifically what I'll do in the area of education, in the area of health, in the area of community development, in the area of full employment, in the area of agricultural revolution and all of that. I was the only one, and up to today, as I'm talking to you, I'm still the only one. Nobody, they take the masses for granted. Just go to a community, go to Shaki, where I come from, share 1 million or 2 million for more than 1,000 people. And people will be clapping for you and thinking you have fulfilled the immediate need, which does not last, does not sustain you in any way. Again, when Tinubu became president, he introduced the NEL Fund. Nigeria Educational Loan Scheme.
That's
a lot of people clap for him. Student loan. If I was Mr. President, instead of that NEL Fund, I would have introduced free education at all levels. In Nigeria, we have enough money to sustain free education at all levels. And look, we claim to be progressives. Chief Obafemi Awolowo, the late leader, introduced progressive politics in Nigeria with 4 cardinal programs of free education, free health services, integrated infrastructure development, and full employment. In what way have we imitated or copied Chief Obafemi Awolowo to become a true generation of the progressives? So if basic things like this, people cannot think of it. And Awolowo had said, if you fail to train the children of the poor, they would ensure that your own children cannot sleep with both eyes closed. The banditry we have in Nigeria now, it is because of abandoning the children of the poor in the area of education, in the area of full employment, in the area of so many other areas. But our leaders, the things they do are not things that, are deep enough. So these are some of the things. The people are very poor, so they don't really have options, really. When you promise to give somebody 2,000 naira, it's a big deal to him. And the majority of people.
Okay.
So it's a pity. I just pray that God will really reorientate our leaders to do the right things for our people.
All right. All right. Just before you go, sir, do you have a word for those Nigerians who are feeling apathetic, people who are feeling like 2027 will be a walk in the park for APC, people who feel there is no reason for them to vote, people who are pessimistic about the growth and development of Nigeria?
What I would rather do is to appeal to our leaders. Before it gets to the masses, let's first talk to our leaders to think better, to think more positively, look for enduring ways of improving the lives of our people. If our leaders do that, we won't need to beg the masses before they do what is right, because they want those good things to be sustained. So they want to retain us in power. So it's the people, is the leadership that we must talk to, and particularly also the National Assembly and the State House of Assembly. It's a pity.
All right, then we need to go. We must thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. We appreciate you. We appreciate your outlook, your analysis. We appreciate your opinion. We also appreciate your objectivity. Trust me, it's not what many people were expecting
Yes.
when we were announcing
Well,
about the
I
APC.
have no apology for
So
anybody.
please
I have
help
no
us to be
apology.
advising your party people.
Yes.
Well, I hope we will have opportunity of advising them,
Thank you so much, Barrister
because a lot of times you
Adebayo.
cannot even have access to them.
All right, all
It's a
right.
pity.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure
Thank you.
talking to you,
If
sir.
someone like you that has
God
been
bless
in government before cannot have access to them, what is the
It's
hope
a
of we
pity.
ordinary
That's
Nigerians?
that's the reality of our situation now. We don't have access to those.
Wow.
You, even ordinary ministers, you call them, they won't pick your call. You send text to them, introduce yourself, no, you won't pick, they won't call back.
Were you accessible as a minister to the
Of
average
course, I was
Nigerian?
the most accessible. I was the most accessible. And journalists would tell me at that time that why is it that when they approach my colleagues for interviews, they will just start running, picking their, doubling their steps.
We still experience that.
Yes, I did. Very laughable things.
Well-
Because a lot of them don't have anything upset anyway to contribute. So they
Shots
rather
fired.
toggle out.
It was a pleasure talking to you, sir. Thank you
it's
very
fun.
much for your
Thank you so
time.
much.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest
It's
of
my
your
big
day,
pleasure.
sir. Thank you.
Thank you so
And
much.
we wish you well
May God bless.
in all
May
your
God bless.
endeavors.
May
And you,
God bless you.
and you as well. All right. I want to say, what's the opposite of congratulations? To the people who were expecting, when you say, oh, we have someone from the APC joining us, some people are already getting their bullets ready to fire, but we're not really expecting, quite a number of you, we're not really expecting, what he said. And it's a joy to listen to talk to someone who can say, in all of this, I think I forgot to ask him a question. If you can see all of this that seems to be wrong with the APC, why are you still there?
Yes.
Why are you still a member of the party? What is it about the party that has kept you there?
I mean, everything took a different turn, as you said before. Some of the questions we prepared to ask. We had to revisit.
He was
We
a
had to
minister. He
revisit.
was a minister under former President Muhammadu Buhari.
right, yes.
So we should have actually looked at that, the Buhari administration and all of that. So if you've been in the APC from then till now, and you can see all of these issues, why are you still
there.
in the APC? Anyway, Nigerians, it's time for you to call. We have 13 minutes before we have to round up the show. We'll take a few calls, take some of your messages on WhatsApp as well, and then we'll call it today. The numbers you can call to be a part of the conversation is
0700-903-903-903 and 0803-692-9933. Our WhatsApp line 081-717-56338. Keep it short, keep it simple, no mudslinging, please. Under 2 minutes, at most 2 minutes, or we'll politely cut you
there
off,
can't
please.
even be any mod to sling today. Welcome to the conversation. Good afternoon. Hello.
Looks like we lost connection with him.
All right then. Hello. Good afternoon. Welcome to the New Nigeria Debate.
Yeah, good afternoon. This is Emmanuel from Ogun State.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm a first time caller.
Oh, first time. Welcome to the VOP
I've been
family.
listening. Yeah. So I'm very very happy concerning what the man said and the way he explained the thing. Before I was sad that I'm listening all this news concerning Nigeria, but immediately the man started making points. And one thing for me is that the man should read it. That's my own. He read it. He wants to get something from it. Read it.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much for calling.
All right. 0803-692-9933. Hello? Hello?
Can you switch off your radio set, please?
Hello?
Yeah, welcome to VOP. Tell us the name where you're calling from, please.
Hello.
Tell us your name, where you're calling from. We can hear you.
Good afternoon, my brother Solomon the Ofen. My name is Robert from Apapa.
Okay,
What's my
Robert.
sister's name over there?
Chioma Innocent.
Okay, I greet you, my sister.
Thank you.
You see, if governance is about personal interests and how to make the people suffer, then we don't need to go to the poll to vote anybody to rule us. Since APC came on board, since the days of Buhari till now, Nigerians have been suffering. Nigerians have been suffering from one problem to the other. From insecurity to food. We cannot eat. My house rent has been increased from how much? Over 200%. You can't travel. Tell me what Nigerians have benefited from this AC government now. Does it mean next year we will continue like this again? See, there's no how somebody will come and defend APC that person will not look stupid. Honestly, I'm telling you. I'm sorry to use that language. I'm annoyed. Let me drop it here.
Thank you.
0803-692-9933. Hello?
Hello, Shum. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
This is Sunday calling from Mushin.
Welcome to the conversation.
Yeah, what I want to say, he said that the people demanded for what they were giving to. I disagree with that because I know what happened in my area here. Once they go out for campaign, they will carry what they want to give to the people. Either it's one broom or one indomie or one half
They
the
collect broom too.
I'm telling you.
Hey!
Shoma is very funny. But you see, sometimes we look at all this, we said, what kind of thing are these people expecting us? Or what they take it for? So, but at the same time, some people will collect. When they go to my church, they say, I say, take what? What do you like that? Do I say I'm hungry? If I should be hungry, so I should be hungry of one broom. Means what?
Thank
so
you
what
for
is
your
there? So that is
because
it.
of
Thank you.
time. Thank you. See, let me tell you. If you're collecting salt, I understand. If you're collecting rice, even if I want Derika or 1 cup, I will try to understand. If they collect semo, I understand because me, I love to eat semo. If you they collect Maggi, I understand. Even if you're collecting cooked food or raw beef, I understand. But if you're collecting broom, I judge you. I judge you. Because what do you mean you're collecting broom? Even though if you look at it, the broom will last more than all other things. But wait till you collecting broom to do, you're going to use that same broom sweep your house. You know they fear.
They go sweep house.
0803-692-9933. We're still taking your calls. Hello?
Yeah, Choma Momemo.
Sir?
Why Mama?
Good afternoon. I'm very well, thank you. What's your name and location, please?
My name is Kilu. Let me go in my window so I don't hear my voice. Well, my name is that something side, okay? Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You know what I want to say?
What do you want to say?
I want to greet you. I want to greet you.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Solomon is here.
Yeah. He knows me now. He knows me. I know your voice is like Choma Innocent, like
I think we are losing you. We can hardly hear you. Please just call us back, please. Thank you very much. Looks like we should read some messages.
Let's just take his call. Hello.
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 Yeah. Lady Choma, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Mr. Shola.
Yes, Shola on the line.
Good to have you
Souls,
here.
I greet you.
I greet you, sir. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Your guest, well, it's just one of a kind, you know. That's Mr. Shitu, former minister.
Yes.
You know, but the problem we have in this country is that we have career politicians. You understand? Look at what this man said now. He said, where can he get 50 million? You might think it's exaggeration. You understand? We have only a few of them. Is it a country where you see politicians having fleet of cars? There's one Kogi senator like that. If you see the fleet of cars he has, in fact, people musicians will envy him. You know, so they will not listen. it keeps getting worse. Then to make the matters worse than Nigerians, we ourselves. Election will be coming up in Ekiti some few days time. Haven't you been seeing the videos? See them dancing, all these old women. How much are they giving them? So Nigerians, we have problems too. Serious issues. In fact, maybe we need deliverance. I don't know. It's not God that will help us anymore. God is just looking at us. I'm tired of the way we reason. Well, let's just be hopeful because I don't know what can change this country. I don't know.
Okay.
Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you very much for your call. Let's take your messages because we really can't take any more calls.
Yeah.
We need to leave very, very shortly. My King. My King. Solo and Lady Chichi. I'm so delighted today for the kind of man you brought. He's really a Nigerian. I wish he had affected his party when he was government. Good afternoon and have a better day. Kudos to you, duo. Grandma Maggie from Oshodi. How are you, ma? Good afternoon from... Oh, Mr. Ogumbi. So good to hear from you. Good afternoon. Shoma Innocent and Solomon Ofem. The man has essentially spoken well in today's matter. In a nutshell, men are suffering in the land. What about women and children, Mr. Ogumbi? All of us, we are suffering.
Choma and Solomon, see, that former minister is defending Gegi Bola Tinubu. See, APC and Tinubu government in a complete failure. Well, he wasn't really defending. I mean, Austin from Orilo Wejibu, thank you very much for your message. You didn't really listen to all the...
His message was really early. His message was
yeah,
really
it was early. Yeah.
Good afternoon, Chairman Ogasolo. I say make a hail una for good work. Una mouth no go dry. Kundus to you guys in MC Oluomo's voice. Abraham from Mafoluku. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, Chairman, the wise one. Sincerely, I really not hear an elder defending what looks so obvious. Okay, he came back from Mafoluku. Thank you.
Shakanade from Alaba Oro says, what is the need to arrest bandits and terrorists if they will still take them back to society? Shakanade, is this all we talked about? All right, go ahead.
Having listened to your guest this afternoon, I can realize he's an elder statesman by his voice. I will ask him to use this opportunity to talk truth to power right now, having been at a departure lounge by his age from Obiora Izechuku from Akunwojo. Thank you very much. Look, sorry, I'll just have to cut the messages as much as so we can have time to read as much as we can.
Shama, good afternoon. You don't know that broom that is being sold for 100 naira and 200 before is now sold for 1,000 and 2,000 or 2,500. If you see it for free, won't you collect? Because you must sweep dirty out of your house. My sister, these APC politicians have inflicted so much pain on Nigerians. Nothing is easy to get anymore. Chooks from Okota.
Good afternoon, Chuma. Nasir El-Rufai should face his consequences. When he was the governor of Kaduna State, a lot of bloodshed. He should not contest for another office again. Thanks, Victor. Tom from Surulere.
There is no way you can help a long throat Nigerian. In my area, they prefer party than good governance. That's from DMC. Dandy Chinoye says, so we have humans in APC. Thank God, though. What do you think were in APC before? Apes?
Okay, the verdict marks the end of a significant legal chapter for there's an
That's not what we're talking about.
Ulushola Ajayi. That's not
I nearly lost interest at first when you introduced your guest as an APC member, but thank God for his honesty on the reality. Good afternoon, Genesis from Ikorodu.
Good afternoon, Solomon. Good afternoon, Chioma. I greet your guest. My name is Gabriel from Ikorodu. Chioma, Solomon, there is a video I just saw on YouTube. I want to send it. Okay, send it.
All right. Good afternoon, VOP. The problem is the docility of the NOA, the National Orientation Agency, in their constitutional responsibility. Precious Owenaze from Ikorodu.
Good afternoon, my amicable presenters in the house. Honestly, I'm happy to hear from this man who is very objective and sincere, despite him being an APC member. We have hope for a new Nigeria. Chidima from Ayobo.
All right. Omengbo G1 of Izombe from Ojo. Yes, that number is the correct number to call. You can also try the number 0803-692-9933. And he says, are you sure your guest is a real APC man? So, na APF.
Good afternoon, Mr. Solomon, Chioma, and VOP family members. Your guest has spoken well, but I disagree in the area. He said the judges are homeless. Please, I want to ask him, is the judge sleeping under the bridge or street, or is it their house demolished that he said they're homeless? Okay, Vivian Love, thank you very much, Vivian Love. Sorry, I'm not reading all your messages. We really have to go.
All right, we really have to go. Greetings, Chioma and the other one say Esther and Solomon. This one say Chioma and Yango. How? Everything about APC is a scam, but I love the submission of your APC guests. I'm purposeful. Godwin from Badagry. I know it won't be nice if we can't take your message, so forgive us. Good afternoon, Chioma Innocent, my person, and Solomon Ofem. I love your analyst. Tinubu knows that if you introduce free education, there will be no way to steal funds.
VOP family, wow. One of the most objective and outspoken leaders in the APC, Chief Adebayo Shitu, continues to distinguish himself through his honesty, realism and courage. Dr. K from Georgia, USA. Thank you very much for your message. All right.
I doubt if this man is from APC. He doesn't speak like an APC member. Adebayo Shitu is from CPC block. He has spoken well.
I've brought an APC man that spoke
John from Jani King. So. I think this is the only APC man I've ever heard speak the truth. God bless him. Dozier from Alaba Suru. You know what this just tells you? That when you say someone is from a particular place or from a particular party, people already expect something from him. So when they don't get that, they're like, okay, you're a different crop. Good afternoon, Choma. I know AB won't like this man. Good afternoon to Mr. Solo and Choma. Wishing you all the better days. Please tell your guests that people like him are not supposed to be in APC. From Vivian Love. Choma, you should not expect the man to defend APC or say good things about him because he contested in Oyo State and lost. He is disgruntled. I am a mad. You see, even the APC people, they don't like him.
But I think the person have a point too. I mean, we were expecting some disgruntled APC members after these chaotic primaries that
actually took place. But it's time for us to go. It's time for us to go. Yes. We really need to go. I want to thank you for being a part of the New Nigeria debate this afternoon. It's been an insightful and enlightening conversation. One thing I'm going to tell you is to make sure you get your PVCs before the next election cycle. Campaign will soon begin. Please don't collect broom. Don't collect rice. Don't collect noodles. Don't collect salt. Don't collect spag. Please.
Or underwear.
Please. If they come and want to dash, say pursue them. Say no. Read your manifesto for us. Because they will use all those things to distract you so that you will not ask for their manifesto. Some of them, they don't have manifesto. Some of them have paid 20 million for form. Imagine a presidential candidate that paid 100 million for form. Where you go collect the money? I leave it to answer that question.
Indeed. Join us again on Tuesday. Chioma Innocent and Esther Wachiko will be here next week, Tuesday, for the New Nigeria Debate. Is a show where we bring you the latest political stories in Nigeria ahead 2027 general elections.
All right. Funhouse Time with MC Chooks and Dr. Walkie Talkie comes up shortly. We do appreciate you for being a part of the show. Keep listening to Voice of the People 90.3 FM and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.
Bye.
Nigeria is at a crossroad. The issues are endemically national. The questions are indeed very tough. The leaders are asked to speak.
I don't need social media anymore. They have pissed the hell out of me. If I read it, I get high blood pressure. I get angry.
From the economy to security, governance, and the future of our democracy. This is the platform where your favorite